Assalamu alaikum and greetings, family. Peace be unto you, for those of you who don't know what that means. I am Sajda Wendy Muhammad, developer and proprietor of the Elijah Muhammad House. I actually had planned on coming out and doing this live a little later today. I actually had posted a flyer that I was going to do it later today, but as it turns out, I have a meeting that came up that conflicts. So I thought I'd come out and do this now. So come on in the room. The background noise that you hear, I am here on the third floor of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, known as the Elijah Muhammad House, also known as Sajda House, effectively. So officially National Historic, it's the Elijah Muhammad House, and I had, before we declared that as the name, and it became a historic landmark, and I named it Sajda House. And the reason behind that was because it was prayer that had gotten me to the point where I could even be in this position to acquire the home and work on the home in this exquisite fashion. And so I remember asking the minister if he liked the name Sajda House, and he agreed that he liked it. And then some months later, a little less than a year later, he said, Sajda is the right name for the project and the right name for you. So I know a lot of people think I named the Messenger's House after myself, but I did not. I was a little apprehensive about calling it the Elijah Muhammad House, in all honesty, because I didn't know if we could do this restoration in a way that was in line with historic standards. And I didn't want to put the Messenger's name on anything that would be subpar. And as we began to work and plan and just literally focus night and day, I realized that we could do it, and that the Elijah Muhammad House is appropriate for an official name. And so that's where we are. So that's where I am today. We are coming along so beautifully. I wanted to do this live just to talk to you guys a little bit, give you also a little background on me as well, in case you didn't know. I came into the nation in 1990. I accepted the teachings at Mosque number 74 in Indianapolis, and then about a year and a half later, I moved to Chicago and began working at the National Center and closely with the National House, and met personally the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and really refined through his love, my love for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Something that's interesting, when I was a little girl, probably somewhere around 5 or 6, I actually now have my uncle looking for a picture of this. I grew up Catholic, and we have First Communion and all this other stuff. And when I was going to First Communion, I really started getting into formalizing my prayer, and I learned about Jesus. And so there's a picture of me outside of the church, having just been inside praying for Jesus. I don't know if I quite understood the concept of where he was and if he was alive and what all this stuff meant, but and there's a picture of me outside, and so my uncle is actually looking for that picture, but which we're going to put in the coffee table book that documents the making of Sajda House, which I think you all will find very interesting. I'm excited about that. One of the things that I used to do when I would read about Jesus, I got this feeling in my heart, and I would literally cry myself to sleep at night I think I would cry for Jesus or about Jesus, but every time conversations came up about Jesus or I read something, because I used to copy off my grandmother when she read the hymnals and things like that, I was like, okay, I want to read those too. I want to learn about it, and I would cry every time deep conversations came up about Jesus, and it was just a feeling that existed in my heart. And a little bit later, in 1975, I saw a Jet magazine that I still keep on my nightstand of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad saying that he had passed. My uncle actually had it, and I took that Jet magazine and put it under my pillow, and I kept it there for a while. I think my grandmother may have found it and threw it away. But there was something about the man on that magazine and the feeling that I got when I was crying for Jesus that matched up. And it was just a feeling that I had in my heart that I didn't know what to do with, that over the years began to build as I became a Muslim and began to work. And with the acquisition of this house, I get to feel that feeling all the time, every time I enter here. And so this is divine and sacred work, and I'm so excited about it. It's divine and sacred work about a sacred man, sacred men, sacred people that a lot of people don't understand, that challenges the identity of a lot of people. And that's very common as we start to climb to different levels in our lives and have different levels of success. People become challenged, or their identity becomes challenged by our accomplishments or by who we are. And I certainly know that I do that to a lot of people. My presence challenges their identity. This project challenges people, whether it's people who don't look like us, who don't want to see the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's name lifted, whether it's people who do look like us and believe like us, but who feel like I shouldn't be the one doing it. There's a lot of reasons why people's identity is challenged, and that's okay. It's just something that they have to work through, and we bless them and pray them through it, but we continue to ask Allah for more and more blessings and more goodness, and seek refuge in Allah in the event that the challenge of their identity becomes envy and jealousy. In the early 90s, I started to sell real estate in Chicago. Primarily, I was throughout Hyde Park, Kenwood, Bronzeville, South Shore, Pill Hill, Jackson Park, Avalon Park, and I would go door to door trying to get listings, like trying to get people to allow me to help them to sell their home. And I didn't do that good. I mean, I can't say that I got a lot of listings, but let me tell you what I did discover, which I call upon a lot. When I went in these homes and I would knock on the door and present to them, you know, what the market was and how I thought I could help them with selling their homes, 1 and 3 houses had a picture of Master Fard Muhammad and or the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and many Martin Luther King. Those 2 people primarily, I'm saying 1 and 3 homes. So when I would go on a block, and let's say there were 10 homes on the block, at least half of those homes, in some cases, on one side would have their pictures. And I just remember being struck by being able to be touched at the, to be able to have a sense or a metric to measure the impact of the teachings here on the south side of Chicago. And so as I went in and out of these homes, I was amazed at how many people actually had those photos up in their homes. And so when I fast forward today, and I told you that this project challenges a lot of people, and we've been very fortunate to have the support and assistance, of course, of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is my spiritual father, who's absolutely amazing. I can't even speak about his love without getting emotional. NOI Archives, Student Minister Carlos has been supportive, Imam Sultan Rahman, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Table Talks, Crow, Brother Jamil and Brother Mandine have been very supportive in terms of, organizations that have really helped us to look for archives and things like that. And but what's interesting is that we get lots of beautiful letters from people, lots of great phone calls from people. Some people are offering archives, and some people offer them at first, and then they renege because somebody calls them up and gets a hold of them. And so we've been having a lot of that, where people will write a letter and say, hey, I have this recording or this letter or this uniform or this document or this archive, and then all of a sudden somebody gets to them. They either then act like they don't know us, or they call and say it's an exorbitant amount of money. And we understand as a museum that most of the time when you go to a museum, a lot of times the exhibits are not owned by the museum. So if you put something on loan with us, we're happy to put your name on it. It doesn't even have to stay here permanently. And so I wanted to do this live because I don't believe that everybody is challenged by the identity of the person who is doing the project. I don't believe that everybody is challenged by the project itself. And I don't believe that everybody has a problem with me because of my love for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I believe that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is alive and is in charge, and that the number of people in the Nation of Islam diaspora, inside the nation, around the world, who have archives, who have memories, are willing to offer that assistance. So I want to say this. If you want to be a sponsor, or if you have archives, if you have video footage, if you have a recording, if you have some type of archives that you want to put on loan to us, we're happy to put a sign saying that it's courtesy of you. We have documents that'll outline the period of time that your item can be here on exhibit with us, because this is not a museum where things will stay the same all the time. The dynamic life of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad lends it well to a house museum like this, because things can always change, and there's so many aspects to him that we can explore and learn from and have a lot of fun from. So I believe in the power of Almighty God Allah, and that we will be successful, and that there are many people whose energy matches ours, and they're excited about what we're doing, and they have things in their home. There are so many believers who have archives in their home, whether it's a letter or an old uniform or a document or a recording or some video footage. And so we ask that if you are out there and you're not challenged by, and your identity is not challenged by who we are, that if you have those documents, that you email us and send an email to sajdahouse@gmail.com. We especially are looking for footage, unique footage, anybody that has footage. Even if you think it's not unique, send us an email, let us know what you have. We will talk to you about coordinating how we can exchange information and allow you to be a part. And even because of either your donation or your allowing us to use some of your archives, we will make you a sponsor and a friend of the Elijah Muhammad House, which will have its benefits once we open. So, listen, this is an amazing opportunity to be a part of history, a part of sharing this incredible knowledge about this amazing and beautiful man who lived in this home. This is a beautiful opportunity to not let those archives die in your basement or die in your heart. We're happy to have conversations. We are starting as now this weekend, and we've had other conversations in the past, but we are officially starting this weekend having conversations with people who have been in the house and dined at the table. We've been getting lots of emails from people who say, hey, I was there on this date and this is what happened. So we want to start having those conversations so that we can learn more and share more and uplift his name and share more with the world and make sure that the story of what is told from this house is authentic and as authentic as we possibly can. We want to stay as close to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as we possibly can. That is my goal. And so thank you to those of you who have already emailed and asked to set up conversations with us where you can talk to us about your experience here, what it was like, and so we're grateful for that. And if you have any footage, if you have photos, if you have items that we can use, we're going to have these very large, like ceiling to wall 3D screens where we'll be able to show archives, and of course we have a partnership with the Table Talks where we'll be exhibiting together, give you an opportunity to understand things from that standpoint. So all of your things that you either donate or let us use, or footage or recordings or letters, will accompany those presentations. Anything you have. Right now I'm standing on the 3rd floor in the large room where the secretary sat. And so if there are even people that have photos of them working, we'd like to be able to reproduce those and put those on the wall. So listen, it's time for us to be free. It's time for us to have freedom of mind. And I bring this up because there's so many people who don't understand, and so many people who have an issue, so many people who are threatened by what we are doing. And we're here to say to you that we want to unite with you. And so if you are a person who's not threatened and don't have an issue, then come on, let's build this together. For my sponsors, you all will see, I gave out these miniature statues by Timothy Schmaltz of Mary Magdalene. And I think we should all have that Mary Magdalene spirit, because we are all sinners. We all have demons that need to be cast out. We all come to this dirtied by the world and in a position where we need somebody to clean us up. And this man has helped to clean us up. And his reminder with a capital R, in our midst, has helped to do that, helped to be a transference, a conduit, and helped to transfer that love to us. And he is the door, and it is through him that we will see the inheritance and the evolution of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'll just say it that way, he lives. And I've been called all kind of things. People say I'm crazy, I function in this realm. I don't really care, because you can't tell me that he don't live. I've heard his voice, I've seen him, and he's involved in this project on a day-to-day basis. And my love for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the door to that love. With that, send us an email, sajdahouse@gmail.com. To your sister, call me crazy, treat me like Mary Magdalene. The reason why I brought up Mary Magdalene, I gave those statues away, is because the gentleman gave me the rights and he reproduced those statues and thought it was a good idea that we give them to the sponsors. And that was just from him learning what we're doing here. And I think we should all have the attitude of Mary Magdalene. We should all come to him. All of us are dirty and raggedy and messed up and need to be cleaned up. We should all be kissing the feet of Jesus. We should all be giving the expensive oils to Jesus. We should all be defying the Judases and all the other people in the group that didn't want us to make over Jesus in that way. And so it's the spirit and the love of Mary Magdalene that is a mindset that I believe we should all have towards the Jesus in our midst. And were it not for him, we would not even know who the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is. So with that, I also want to let you know we are determined to complete this project independently. We got millions of dollars into it, and I'm excited about being able to do that. And to continue, we want to continue to sell coins. We took copper off the building. I'm in a room now where we're recycling so much wood and metals and limestone and making items that you'll be able to have access to. Right now the coins are available. You can go to sajdahouse.com, put the discount code in HEM4847, and that will get you your coin. They make great gifts. They're incredible heirlooms. They will increase in value as time goes on. Again, if you want to be a sponsor, if you send me an email, send an email to sajdahouse@gmail.com. That email, then I will respond. Let me know at the top that you want to be a sponsor, and then I'll let you know what sponsorships are still available. An opportunity for your family name to be in this nationally recognized historic space. And if you have archives, if you have photos, if you have recordings, if you have things that you want to donate or items that you want us to use, you can also send an email to sajdahouse@gmail.com. And I'm making this appeal because I don't believe everybody's mad about this. I don't believe everybody is easily swayed away. Literally, we have people who will call and we plan on picking up the archives, and then they'll call back and somebody even got to them. So I don't believe that everybody is punked out by that. And I don't believe that everybody is that weak. I believe that there's a lot of us who love the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and want to see his home restored and presented to the world for the great and historical things that happen here. It's just literally amazing, and there's so much wisdom that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is contributing to the world that I think that everyone needs to know about. So with that, sorry for doing this early. I have another meeting that's happening at the time that I had actually scheduled it. So let everybody know that we already have the live. And if you know somebody who knows somebody whose grandmother or mother was in the nation back in the day and they got archives and they want to let us use them, recordings, tapes, whatever, we're excited. And we will definitely put it to good use, and you will be proud, inshallah, at what we have presented. So with that, thank you all for joining me today. Don't participate in the shadow boycotting. Don't participate in the people whose identities are impacted by who I am or whose house it is. Support history. Our history matters, preservation matters, and it's important that we begin to control and monetize our culture and our history so that the accurate stories can be told, and not stories that tickle the fancy of people who want to support the media versions of these stories or the public version. We got a whole nother side. This is a bestseller over here. And so come on over to the winning team. Don't let these people pull you down. Be independent. And thank you all. Thank you for your tremendous support. Thank you to every person that has ever made a donation. Some people have donated $1, some people $5, some people 5,000, some people 10,000. And so we are very grateful for that. Restoring an older home like this is extremely expensive, and it takes a lot. But we're going to keep going, and inshallah, Allah will grant us with continued victories. So thank you to all the organizations that have supported. All right, peace and blessings, everyone.